told inside my head. I'm too shy to straighten up my bones and be a man. I gotta tear this wall apart to let you in. My friends say that time's running out, so take the chance. Make a move, 'cause this door won't stay open till the end. Won't you tear my world apart? 'Cause I know I need a start to let you in when it's over.
Hoy pienso en qué pasó y cómo me afectó las horas que pasé en aquel bus. No entiendo bien por qué mi abuelo distraído se bajó sin mí. Yo seguí. Acapulco no era un lugar para una niña de mi edad. Con solo 4 años enfrenté la
이거 있으니까 덜 보기
soledad.
싫죠? 네.
예뻐요.
Del bus te vi pasar y la calle caminar y a pesar
요쯤 심어줘. 역시 이렇게 좋아. 그게 똑같아. 아, 예쁘다.
Something about you isn't right. I swear you can make me lose my mind. Lying here awake at night. If this is love, then I don't want it. Why you gotta be so complicated? I'm sick and tired of contemplating. I don't wanna be here waiting. If this is love, then I don't want it. I can't be the one you keep running to whenever you feel down. I can't be that someone who'll always be there when something's wrong. I can't rely on you now. I can't rely on you anymore. I can't depend on you now. I can't rely on you. Why is everything so problematic?
이분이 또 막 흑악기시네.
Why are you acting so neglected?
아
뿌리묘를 주시려고 하시.
Feel so cold.
아, 들켰다.
Swear to God.
어차피 얘는 40에서 50cm 남겨다 잘린 애들인데.
아니 10cm만 남겨도 될 것 같아요.
아예 잘라서 줄까요?
Swear you can make me lose my mind. Lying here awake at night. This is love and I don't want it. I can't be the one you keep running to whenever you feel down. I can't be that someone